Hello and welcome to today's vision board tutorial. As you can see from the title, this is my absolute favorite method for manifestation. I've been using this method for about 2 years and I've kind of slowly refined it into my own practice, which I'm going to teach you today. So you will want to have a pen or a pencil, whatever you prefer. You also will want to have a notebook or a piece of paper that you can then use. It's kind of going to be like your rough draft for your vision board. If you want to get started on actually creating the vision board right here with me right now, and you have your laptop up and you're just working away, you are more than welcome to do that. Or if you're watching the replay and you want to pause this accordingly, do whatever floats your boat, because that is what matters the most in life. Okay, so let's just get into it. We are going to approach this kind of with the assumption that you have a old vision board that you've been working towards. So this is a ceremony that I like to do. I create a new vision board probably about every 3 to 6 months. That is when the brain actually creates a new cognitive cycle. So this is in alignment with your mental patterns, maybe not so much like the 365 days of the year, but this is how I am able to really maximize my productivity and stay super focused and organized and all of that fun stuff. So the first thing that we want to do is release our old vision board. So pull up your old vision board, wherever it is. If you are doing this in the future with this vision board, just save this video for another time. You want to pull up your old vision board and make a list of everything that you genuinely accomplished that you feel like you got to cross off that list. And take a moment with yourself as you go through each and every one of these things. Remember what it felt like to do that, to accomplish that, to be that frequency, right? And really celebrate yourself by just acknowledging yourself and being present with yourself. So often we're rushing through life, going, and we think of celebrating ourselves as buying ourselves something or drinking alcohol or something like that. But you can actually celebrate yourself just by like putting your hands on your heart and taking a moment to just be super, super present with yourself in whatever you are feeling. And because we have just created this positive emotional response, looking at all of your accomplishments and all the things that you got to do for the past quarter or the past vision board time, enjoy that feeling. That's what we're here to do. That's why we incarnated here, is to have these yummy, good feelings. So really sit and celebrate all of these amazing accomplishments. You did it. You deserve it. Now let's move to the things that we didn't accomplish. So of course, on every vision board, there's going to be things that you accomplished and things that you didn't. And it's really important, I think so often we tie our self-worth to our results, to whether or not we can accomplish something. And it's really, really an unhealthy thing to do. So if you did not accomplish something on your vision board, like for myself, there's a lot of things I didn't accomplish on my vision board. They ended up not being my focus the way that I thought they would be for those 3 months. And so when I look back and list out all of those things that I didn't accomplish, I'm not beating myself up. I'm not telling myself, oh, you're such a loser, like try harder again. Instead, what I'm doing is I'm looking at these things. Like one of the things I didn't accomplish was I didn't buy myself a new couch. I really, really wanted a new couch, but it just wasn't a priority. I had other things going on that kind of took that priority mark from me. So instead of just putting a new couch on my next vision board and being like, try harder next time, like get that new couch next time or whatever it is, what I'm going to do is assess, is that the thing that will really, really support me in showing up in the way that I want to in the world? And to be completely honest, right now, like I couldn't give two craps about what couch I have. My couch works fine, doesn't hurt my butt, so it works great for me. And I'm actually going to take that off my vision board completely because it's just not a priority right now. So instead of beating myself up, I'm able to be present, assess the situation, realize, oh wow, like that wasn't a priority for me because it's not a priority in my soul, in my heart, and I'm going to let that thing go. Let that mango. But I'm just gonna let it go and allow myself to create space to manifest something else, something that is truly in alignment for me in my heart and all of that. Ooh, we have some people to block. Uh-oh. Hello, everyone. I have not seen any of your comments other than that incredibly inappropriate one, but I just want to say thank you so much for being here, and I'm sending you so much love. Okay, beautiful. So now that we've kind of gone through our past vision board and we've accepted the things that we've accomplished and we've accepted the things that we are no longer going for, the things that we weren't able to accomplish, or we just have a list of both of those categories, it's time to close that chapter. So I know so many people say like, oh, just let it go, just close the chapter, but you can actually physically do this and create that energetic result. So one of the ways that we are going to do that is by, you can either write on the back of your vision board, or you can, like, I did an amazing little journal exercise here with myself where I just wrote about how I'm so proud of myself and the things that I want to do to kind of move and shift into this next chapter of my life and be really, really intentional and present to the fact that I am energetically closing one chapter and opening a new chapter. You can celebrate yourself during this time in a more grand way. You can buy yourself something or something like that. Every time we celebrate ourselves, we are sending a message to the universe that we're done with the person that we were and we're ready to become the next version of ourselves. So you can use your celebrations as kind of like up levels, which I absolutely love because I'm a chronic self beat up person. That's kind of how I got into personal development. So to be able to actually celebrate yourself into the next version of yourself is so liberating and so incredible. So now that we have released our old vision board, it's time to create our new vision board. So I think that I see a lot of people do this. I don't know if incorrectly is the right word, but creating a vision board is a really, really beautiful process. If you want to study neurolinguistic psychology, if you want to study how to reprogram the brain and how to really take the reins on your own evolution, I strongly encourage you to do that because all of the things that we are going to be talking about in creating our new vision board is actually backed by neuroscience. This is not just like some woo-woo spiritual stuff. I'm so grateful that all of my mentors have been able to explain to me why we do the things that we do. That's also how my brain works. I like to understand stuff. I don't just want to do something because someone online did it that way or they said to do it that way. So I strongly encourage you, if you're like, how does that make sense? How does that actually work with my brain? There's so many resources that I have available. You can reach out to me. And there's also, I have a free reading list where I've kind of gathered all of the case studies and information that have allowed me to create this method. So now let's get into the method. The first thing that we are going to focus on is truly what do we want, not what do other people want for us, not what have expectations been that have been placed on us up until now, or beliefs that have been stuffed down our throats or anything like that. Like if someone's told you your whole life, like be a doctor, be a doctor, be a doctor, but that's not really what you want, don't put that on your vision board because your vision board is going to literally be the stepping stone between you and becoming the person that you want to be. Manifestation is the art of matching the frequency of your desires. So a vision board is a really effective tool of manifestation because you are forced to look at the stuff that you are matching the frequency to every single time. I often see people put literally what they want on their vision board. That doesn't actually help the subconscious mind match that frequency. So I'm going to explain a slightly different way that we're going to do that. But the first step is really getting clear on what you want. Is it a new car? Is it a new man? Is it a new hair? Is it a new outfit? Is it a new career? Like, what is it that really, really lights you up? And when you think about that thing, maybe it's being TikTok famous, for example. Let's just use that as an example for the sake of this tutorial. When you think about that thing, how does that feel? Does it feel expansive? Meaning, do you notice your body posture opening up You notice yourself maybe feeling lighter. Maybe it's easier to smile when you think about this thing. It's really, really important to tap into these feelings. If you're feeling closed off, limited, restricted, like, how would I even do that? This is so stressful. Oh my God, I don't even know if I want this. Then that's not the thing that you truly, truly want. Understanding ourselves is so hard because 90% of our brain is subconscious. So how we can tap into our intuition is by tapping into that body posture. Are we feeling like this when we think about being a TikTok person, or are we feeling like this? When we think about developing a new wardrobe, does that feel like, oh, it's just another thing I have to do, like this is so stressful? Or does it feel like, yes, I get to adorn myself in the clothing that truly feels like me, right? So you will know for you what this is, and that's why this is such a personal exercise. Like the vision board that helps me is not going to be the vision board that helps you, because maybe that thing feels super limiting to you that feels super expansive to me, and that's completely okay. That's because we're all on different paths, and that is the value of being a unique human on this earth. So get super, super clear now about what you want and start listing those things. Maybe it's a specific makeup look or a specific feeling. You want to feel sexy every single day and you haven't felt that way before. Or maybe you want to feel super, super organized. Whatever it is, put that on your list of what you want. And now we've already kind of talked about how so many people make the mistake of literally going and searching for those things for their vision board. That's not actually what will help you achieve that frequency. So let's say that you want a new car. So you put that new car on your vision board. Every day that you look at that new car, every day that you look at your vision board, it doesn't actually support you in increasing your frequency to the point that it's matching that new car. Right? You're actually just looking at the new car. It actually can separate you from the thing because you're looking at it being like, oh my God, wow, 10 months from now, or like another $20,000 and I'll get that new car, whatever it is that you are telling yourself, and you're putting it further and further and further away from yourself, meaning that you are actually putting that on a higher frequency while simultaneously lowering your frequency. So you're separating out. That's the opposite of manifestation. Manifestation is coming together. Both of you are on the same frequency. So how can you get on the same frequency as that brand new car or being TikTok famous or whatever it is that we desire? What we get to do now that we have a list of specifically what we want, being more organized, having that extra $10,000 in our bank account, whatever it is, whatever lights your soul on fire, whatever makes you feel expansive. Now that you have that list, we're going to go through each and every thing and meditate on it. And I'm going to guide you through this. Don't freak out. I'm here with you. I'm here holding your hand. So we're going to meditate on each and every desire that we want. And the purpose of this meditation is to allow us to see any colors, shapes, phrases, words, anything that is connected to this desire, this want, that can support us in raising our frequency to actually being at the same frequency as our desire. So the vision board that we are going to be creating is not actually a vision board of that fancy new car or the Oscar that you want or the whatever specific thing that you are going for here and now. It's actually the colors, the words, the feelings, the other images that you feel when you think about matching the frequency of that desire. I hope this is making sense. If it's not, please drop any questions in the chat comments here and I will be sure to get to them by the end. So let's now go into this. So now let's think about it. Let's say it's getting that new car for you. I'm going to just walk you through this process and you can actually apply this to each and every item on your want list, on your desire list. And just a quick reminder that your meditations are yours. If you want to meditate for 20 hours each on each of these things, be my guest. Go for it. You are allowed to do that. If you want to meditate literally a total 30 seconds on each of these, you are also allowed to do that. There's no right or wrong way to be yourself as long as you're following your intuition. So this is how I like to do a meditation on each of my desires. It probably lasts about a minute or two, and it's also something that I can just kind of think about throughout the day. So yesterday I was on a road trip. I wasn't actually closing my eyes and deeply meditating about each thing, but I spent the entire 6 hours thinking about what colors do I see or do I feel or do I feel connected to when I think about my desires? What shapes, what phrases, what words light me up and make me feel like, ooh, I'm like on another frequency so that I can actually connect to the frequency of the things that I desire. Is the frequency thing making sense? Do you guys get that the reason that we don't yet have that new card, the reason we don't yet have that thing is because it's on a frequency that's slightly higher than where we are at? So manifestation means raising your frequency so that you are at the same energetic level as your desires. That way you can literally just like declare them and they just pop it. Like I got a free Starbucks this morning because I literally just declared it to the universe. Yes, I love that intuition is leading the journey. Yes, your intuition is your superpower. This is your gasoline for your soul. This is everything. So the more we're able to tap into our intuition, the stronger and more powerful and more aligned we are. It is absolutely incredible. So I think so many people ask me, like, how do I tap into my intuition? What do I do? Every day your body is talking to you. Every day your body, for example, I am someone who loves to stay up late. And so my body will tell me at 9 p.m., time to go to sleep. And I say, oh no, just another episode. That's a way that we actually betray our own intuition. And when we actually honor our body's desire to go to sleep when it wants to go to sleep, or to drink this when it wants to drink this, or whatever it is, we're actually increasing our intuition. We're telling our body, hey, I'm listening to you, so you can actually talk to me a lot more and about a lot more things, and we can have even deeper, cooler conversations, and it's so fun. And you'll notice this process picking up and happening so quickly. Energetics work exponentially, which means that a week from now, you could have literally have manifested everything on this vision board already. That's another reason that I make them so quickly, is because they are so effective. So that was a little tangent. Back to our tutorial. So thinking about that new car or whatever desire it is, close your eyes. And this is how I personally meditate on it. I make sure that my spine is completely straight. I'll close my eyes just so that I can close off other senses that I might be experiencing, so that I can really focus on what my soul is presenting to me, what ideas are popping into my head and things like that. It's not like there's any fancy stuff happening with my eyes closed. I'm just closing off some of my senses so that I can wake up some of my other senses, aka my intuition. So I'm going to close my eyes and think about that new car, or I'll just use having 1 million followers on TikTok as an example, because I know a lot of people are trying to grow their TikToks or social medias right now. So when I think about that feeling, and I allow my spine to be straight so energy can move up and down my auric field naturally, I allow myself to just sit with that. What type of person would I need to be in order to be someone who has 1 million followers on TikTok? What type of drinks would I drink in the morning? What kind of feeling would I feel in my chest? Would I be super calm or super excited? What colors would I wear? And as I ask myself these questions, I'm also noticing what things are showing up in my subconscious. Maybe I'm seeing like a shadow of a blue color or something. Or maybe I'm seeing some yellow, or one of my favorite quotes that I read recently that has been popping up for me. Maybe it's a word like organization, or being that 1 million follower TikTok account means that I would go to bed literally at 11 p.m. on the dot every single night. Like, that thought just came into my mind. So whatever those thoughts are for you, don't judge them. This is how we develop a closer relationship with ourselves. trust your brain. Trust that whatever came up in that little meditation as you're asking yourself those questions is for you. So now that you've opened your eyes and come back into this room, write each of those things down. Write down that blue, write down that yellow, write down, maybe you saw like a glass of water because you're going to be drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning before going on TikTok each day or going to look for that new car or whatever it is that you are manifesting. So write all of those things down. The specific question to ask yourself here is, what colors, words, textures, symbols, or images come up when I think about matching the frequency of my desire? And you can go through each desire and make a list of whatever colors, symbols, words, whatever it is. So now you have a list of a bunch of colors and symbols and words and things that probably don't really make that much sense. This is the ingredients for your vision board. So with this list, if you want to make a virtual vision board, what you can do is you can go on Pinterest and you can look up images that are that same yellow color, or maybe there's that juicy glass of water that just makes you want to, like, every time you look at the picture, you're like, ooh, I need a giant glass of juicy water in my body. And then that's your keystone habit for then showing up and being organized and being in flow and having an exciting feeling in your chest so that you can really create content from an aligned place and fulfill your TikTok dreams or whatever it could be. I'm just using TikTok as an example. If you're new here, it's just one of the examples I could think of because a lot of the people that I've been speaking to recently are trying to really get themselves out there a lot more on TikTok, on social media in a lot of different ways. And a lot of the times when we have a desire like that, it's really confusing as to how exactly we are going to achieve that goal. The how is the hardest part. And so often people literally shoot themselves in the foot when it comes to manifesting their goals because they focus so much on the how. Oh, I'm going to buy this $10,000 car. Okay, that's just $1,000 every single month for exactly 20. Like, stop. That's not the way that energy works. That's not the way the universe works. And when you try to do things like that, when you try to micromanage your goals into happening, they're never going to happen. First of all, I know this from experience because I did that for 12 years of my life and was so disappointed every single year and had never felt further from myself. When you micromanage everything, what you are actually telling the universe is, I don't trust you at all. I don't trust myself at all. I don't trust energy at all. And I'm going to control this whole entire experience. And guess what? When you try to control your life experience, you really shoot yourself in the foot because there is such a grander plan for us, right? So on my last vision board, I had like getting a new couch and I never ended up getting the new couch. I trust that there is a grander plan for me. And if I was so focused on getting that new couch, I wouldn't have accomplished all of the other amazing, incredible things that I didn't even put on my vision board because I didn't even know that those were possibilities for me, right? So allowing ourselves to follow the flow, right? Like you shoot an arrow in the direction that you want to go and then just go in that direction and see what is out there for you. Maybe it's not the new car. Maybe you become a race car driver. Maybe you create the whole new TikTok, and by focusing so much on understanding TikTok itself, you actually robbed the world of that gift that you came here to give it, this whole new social media that only existed in your own brain, right? So it's really, really important to focus on the what. What do I want, right? What do I need to match that frequency? Is it water? Is it this color? Is it some of the words that I like or that I channeled when I did that guided meditation? The reason I'm saying water so much is because water was an image that really, really came up for me. You know, like that beautiful mason jar of cold water with the little droplets of condensation coming off. Like that image literally came up for me when I was thinking about some of my desires and some of my goals. Some other things that came up were the word flow, harmony, discipline, and structure. Something that has been a motto of mine for so long is I get paid for being me. Another question I'm asking myself based on one of the ceremonies that I was a participant of, not a facilitator of recently, is what would life be like if I felt fully safe to show up as myself on this earth? And then as I was going through this exercise, I was reading a book, and it was a book that my mentor wrote, and in that book, he said the only way to lose, oh, sorry, this is not from a book, this was from a song. The only way to lose that fearful feeling is to replace it with love that's healing. I loved that. The only way to lose that fearful feeling is to replace it with love that's healing. So I kind of accumulated all of these different phrases and words and colors, and yellow was a huge thing in my meditation, as well as sunrises. Sunrises also came up for me a lot. So my vision board is going to be a compilation of those words and phrases, and sunrises and harmony and flow and freedom and all of these questions that I get to ask myself every single day that support me in showing up as the version of myself that would easily get that freaking new car, that easily has the 1 million followers on TikTok, that easily has all of these things, right? But by focusing on the thing itself and not focusing on myself, I'm actually creating a divide between me and that thing. So, yeah, I think that that's about all that I have to say about this topic for now. I know this was a lot, and it was super, super juicy. And yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm missing. If there's any questions that you have for me, I would absolutely love to answer them so that I can support you in better creating a vision board that really, really helps you in achieving what you want to achieve. I can't stress that enough. Stop manifesting the stuff that your parents want for you. Stop manifesting the stuff that society wants for you. Stop manifesting things that your boyfriend wants for you. Manifest what your soul desires, right? Whatever that is. And don't judge your soul for desiring it. Maybe it's having your 2 hairs like this and you kind of look like a bug and it's like an antenna vibe. Yeah, my soul desired that today, and that is beautiful, and that is perfectly okay. Yes, I'm so glad that so many of us got so many amazing golden nuggets out of all of this information. Honestly, when I came up to do this live, I was like, I can't believe I'm giving this all away for free, but I am honored to do so because we all get to use these skills. We all get to hone in on this intuition. And just because I have been able to get to a place in my journey where I'm able to download information like this, have the clarity to create a vision board like this, or have like 12 vision boards where I've pretty much almost manifested absolutely everything, it doesn't mean that you can't do that. It just means that I'm a chapter ahead. So I'm just looking back and being like, hey guys, this is how I did it. And I'm still on my growth journey too. The way I do a vision board 2 years from now might be completely different, right? And I'll share that version with you as well, which is really, really awesome. I'm so grateful that you are here for my evolution and here so that I can share all of these new learnings and findings and downloads with you, and that you also are here with a completely open mind, just like me, and are open to the evolution of ourselves and are open to the evolution of ideas and all of the yumminess that is here on this earth. Should I do separate ones for each separate want? This is a really, really good question. I think that you're asking, like, should I make a separate vision board for each separate desire? No, do not do that. So let's say so write out all of your wants. That is step 1, right? After you've released your old vision board, making sure that you're super, super clear on exactly what you are creating. All of those desires come together. You are not multiple separate parts. All of the parts of you that have different desires, let's say there's a part of me that wants to be a CEO, and there's also a part of me that wants to be a babysitter. Both of those parts come from the same whole. Both of those parts actually on a deep subconscious level have similar desires. So you can create a vision board, and you should create, I hate to use the word should, but I invite you to create a vision board that is a compilation of all of the parts of yourself, all of the desires within you, because it all makes up you. So during on my vision board, something that I am desiring is like multiple articles for publication. Another thing that I'm desiring is going to Burning Man. Those are completely different, right? Creating a Burning Man vision board and a article writing vision board, having both of those is going to separate me from my goal so much more than if I were to just sit down, think about Burning Man, what colors, thoughts, things come up there, write a list for that. Think about publishing articles, what colors, thoughts, symbols, what's coming up, write a list for that. Now I have this giant mega list, right? So when I'm creating the actual vision board, I'm pulling from all of the colors and symbols and things that came up from my Burning Man desire, all of the colors and things that came up from my article desire, and that is what's going into the vision board. So the vision board doesn't actually embody the things that I desire at all. Looking at my vision board, you would have no idea that I write articles. You would have no idea that I want to go to Burning Man. You would see yellow, you would see water, you would see really arbitrary items that are literally a part of my subconscious brain, my subconscious mind, my soul has asked for these things in order to raise my frequency to achieve these other items. So I think that what I'm kind of getting at is like, whatever you want, you don't need to constantly remind yourself of that thing. You don't need to constantly say like new car, and like have this whole vision board of all of the different stuff that you're going to do to get a new car. And then another separate vision board of all the stuff that you're going to do to get a new house or whatever it is. Because the things that are going to support you in raising your frequency to achieving that car are also going to be the things that support you in raising your frequency to getting that house, right? Is that making sense? I hope that this makes sense. I know I'm kind of everywhere, but these topics can be really challenging to explain. Oh my God, we're all going to Burning Man. Let's freaking go. Yes. Okay. Any other questions? Thoughts on doing this, cocooning during the spring? Thoughts on doing this cocooning. I don't know if cocooning is a typo. Thoughts on doing this cocooning during the spring instead of in January? I think that what you're asking is like, what do you think about doing this at another time as opposed to in January? So I actually do this every 3 to 6 months. I do this intuitively. I can kind of know when I've accomplished everything on my vision board and when I'm ready to get to the next level of my life. And that's when I do this exercise. I do not do this annually. It is really, a year is a really, really long time. The brain goes through multiple cycles of neuroplasticity, whether or not you are consciously pushing for neuroplasticity. And the brain goes through the cycle every 3 to 4 months, naturally. This has been studied in people with ADHD, but our brains honestly are not that different. I'm neurodivergent, but whether you're neurodivergent or not, or whether you're aware of it or not, your brain is probably also moving in a 3 to 4 month cycle. So I like to do this. I think it's actually even more effective to do this quarterly. I follow my own intuition with all structures and timing just because I had a wounded divine feminine energy. So I kind of started off my own personal development process and practice and everything so deep in my masculine energy, which is all structure. Like every single day I had to read 10 pages. I had to do this, and exactly at 60 days I was exactly 61 day, and like blah blah blah. Like it was so the opposite of being in flow. So now, in order to create harmony in my life, I'm fully in flow and I don't follow barely any sort of structure, but that is what is harmony for me, and it's going to be different for you. Again, just quick reminder, I'm a retired bodybuilder, so I was structured to the point that every ounce of water I was drinking was measured, every step that I was taking every single day was measured, like extreme structure. So I encourage you, I think that this question is really important because it's asking like, when should I do this? Like, what should my structure be? And I think that it's really important to create your own structure. So this year, maybe you do this every single quarter. Maybe you do this like according to the lunar shifts, or the planetary or astrological shifts that are happening. Or maybe you do it at the beginning of the year and then exactly on the 6-month mark. And next year you can be like, wow, that felt really good. I'm going to do the same thing again. Or maybe next year you're like, actually, I'm going to do this every single month because I've realized that I'm manifesting things so quickly that I can actually shift and open 12 new chapters of my journey in a year, right? So it's going to be different for you. And the only way that you are going to figure that out is by trying it out, which is why it's so important to not fear failure, because failure is how we figure out what like actually works for us, right? Yay, Shelby, I'm so happy that this has been supporting you. Yes, Teresa, sending you so much love. Alrighty. Anything else? Ooh, yay, I'm so glad that this is what you were asking. Oh, love all of you so much. Neurodivergence is basically like, I'm not an expert on neurodivergence, and to be completely honest, I feel even weird talking about it because being a licensed clinical hypnotherapist and getting to literally look into people's subconscious brains every single day, multiple times a day for my life, in my career, I got to see that there's no such thing as normal, right? And so many people that struggle with mental struggles actually have really similar mental struggles. So neurodivergent, like divergent means not the norm. It means outside of the norm. If you have ADD, if you have ADHD, you are considered to be neurodivergent. Apparently, another thing that I've noticed is people with severe trauma tend to really know that their brain doesn't work the same way that other people's brains work. So I don't often talk about like the traumatic parts of my trauma because my goal is not to traumatize anyone, but just to help us all heal from it. But I had really severe trauma. So I had complex PTSD, which means that my brain literally like was rewired chemically. Like it's so intense. Something that I noticed now that I am a therapist many years later, having so many patients and clients that have complex PTSD as well, it's really fascinating to see how many people know that their brain is not acting in a normal way, but don't know how it's different. And I think that's kind of what I would call neurodivergent. Some people in the situation will then be like, hey, like I want to get tested for autism or tested for this or that or whatever it is. And yeah, I think that our society is also really focused on like, oh, I have this or that or whatever, but that kind of just goes into victim mindset. So when we can own the fact that we're all so incredibly unique, the brain really is shaped by our environments, and we get to take the reins on our neuroplasticity and how we want our brain to be working for us, then yeah, we kind of level the playing field and empower all of us, right? Neurodivergence is not the same as self-awareness. Neurodivergence has to do with your brain. Like if you're autistic, you're neurodivergent. Being self-aware is something completely different. So self-awareness and being present are really important. And you can create neuroplasticity to create this occurrence. So something that I personally experienced is that like I had CPTSD, right? So I was never present. I was never aware of myself. I wasn't aware of how I was showing up in the world. I wasn't aware of my surroundings. Like I was constantly in survival mode. So what I did was through meditation, through healing, through all of these different healing and energy modalities, I actually rewired my brain to being incredibly present, incredibly grounded, incredibly hyper aware. And so this is why people say like I healed my PTSD. I won't say that, but I had a lot of articles written about me saying that I did heal it. It pretty much just means that you've effectively rewired your brain, so you're no longer a victim to the brain patterning that your brain has created based on your circumstances. And you can use self-awareness to create that. Is this making sense, or is this helping you? Please let me know. Or if you have any other questions that I can help break this down a little bit too. Beautiful. So there is, we kind of went off topic a little bit here, but it is all in good fun. It is so amazing. So when it comes to manifesting your vision board, the number one thing that we get to focus on is matching our frequency to our desires. So I see so often people being like, oh, I want to be the type of person that works out every single day or something like that. Instead of putting that on the vision board, instead of putting the workout or the body that you want or whatever it is on your vision board, sit down with that feeling. Sit down with that. Who would I be like if I was the type of person that worked out every single day? What would I wear? What time would I go to bed? What things would be important to me? What colors would stick out to me, right? So ask yourself those questions, and those are the things that are going to support you in structuring your vision board that's actually going to help you in achieving that goal of working out every day. Could be a goal big or small. And that's another thing to remember too. I think so often when we think of a vision board, we think of something huge, like a new house or 1 million followers or something like that. But you can actually manifest something really small. So I have a really good friend who manifested 1 million TikTok followers, which is another reason we've been talking about it a little bit. And she first manifested 5,000 TikTok followers and then 10,000, right? We don't have to go for the 1 million right off the bat. Your vision board on month 12 could have, yes, like I'm going to officially cross that 900,000 mark into the 1 million mark, right? But why focus on that right here, right now? Why not focus on, oh, I'm just going to show up consistently in the way that I know aligns deeply with me? That is going to help us so much more in the long run than actually focusing on the number of followers or the number of dollars that we want in our bank account or whatever it could be, right? It's really, really fun, and it has honestly allowed me to manifest so much so fast over the past year. Another thing that I did to help myself manifest even more deeply is hone in on my human design. So I strongly encourage you to check that out. I do collaborate with a human design coach for all of my one-on-one clients. So basically, my one-on-one clients meet with a human design coach and they meet with me so that we can make sure that you are living in alignment to the way that you were divinely designed to be and guided to show up, and so that I can support you in strengthening your intuition and achieving all of these magical things even better and faster and easier and all of the yumminess. So yeah, I'm so happy to be here with you this morning, and I'm excited for my next live. Let's see if there's any other questions before we hop off. No need to apologize, Jess. I love your questions. They're amazing. Never ever apologize for being yourself, and I acknowledge you for asking the things that it's on your mind. Think of all the people that are too afraid to take up space, that are too afraid to speak up or whatever it is. So keep speaking up. Seriously, I acknowledge you for that. It is always more powerful and more empowering for everyone for you to speak up rather than stay quiet. So thank you. There's a question here. How do you direct focus while visioning, meditating, while also being neurodivergent? Yeah, this is a really good question. I have hesitated talking about neurodivergence for such a long time because I think I kind of mentioned this earlier, like people kind of have a victim mentality about it. Like, oh, I can't focus because I have trouble focusing. I have ADD or I have this or whatever it is. I totally get that because I also have ADD. I have ADHD. Like literally sometimes when I'm hanging out with my boyfriend, I just am jumping up and down because I have energy that I need to get out of my energy body. And so the opposite of being a victim to your neurodivergence or the things that you can't control is knowing that you are the way that you are and instead creating a solution for yourself. So in that moment, I'm jumping up and down in order to release energy from my body because I know I have extra energy in my body. I'm having an ADHD moment, right? I'm not gonna go yell at him or be like, I'm having freaking ADHD, like you need to take me out. Like, it's very different when you take responsibility and ownership of the way that you are, whether it's normal or not. Like, there's no such thing as normal. So the way that you are is the way that you are, and own it, right? Support yourself in being that way instead of labeling yourself or judging yourself in any way. I hope that this answers your question. So that being said, yes, having a mind, like a wandering mind, so normal. Being a guided meditation teacher, I think that this is like the number one thing that people talk to me about is, how do I get my mind to stop wandering? That's not the goal of meditation. The goal of meditation is to trust your mind that wherever it's wandering to, you trust it. You trust that it is guiding you there. So when we are sitting here and thinking about that new car and what colors and what feelings come up and what type of person are we going to be, and what's it going to feel like to grab your purse as you get into that new car? As you're asking yourself these questions, the mind is going to be coming up with answers, and it's going to be trying to take you different places, right? And it's our job to see that, oh, yellow, oh, Starbucks cup, oh, Chanel keychain. That's how I'm going to have the new car, with that Chanel keychain or whatever it is, right? The mind is constantly taking you to a new destination, but you can still be where you are and watch the brain do that. That doesn't mean you're in a new place. One of my favorite exercises for understanding thoughts and having a different relationship with your thoughts is called either Leaves on a Stream or like Clouds in the Sky. It's this type of meditation that is a psychological tool used by psychologists so that you can actually separate yourself from your thoughts. I have all of my one-on-one clients do this as well for 20 days minimum, just because it literally creates a completely different relationship with yourself. Your brain coming up with these new thoughts, or yellow, or Starbucks cup, or whatever it is, there's nothing wrong with that. Just write those things down, right? I hope that this makes sense. Let me scroll down and see if this is so potent. Yes. Okay, let me scroll back up so I don't miss any questions. Sorry, you're just watching me scroll around. I've been feeling especially called especially right now at this time to write down my goals and aspirations. It's so divine that I'm here right now and you're talking about this. Thank you. Yes, I felt the same way. And I think that kind of speaks into following your own intuition and your own alignment. I did not feel like this past New Year's, right? We just had a New Year's like a week ago. I think I don't know what day it is, like the 8th. Definitely did not feel the vibe to tap into my goals and my desires and what I wanted at that time. There was definitely a different energetic frequency at that time. And it's so important to not beat ourselves up and say, oh my God, it's a Monday, it's the first of the month, it's the first of the year, I need to have a vision board during this time. Like, if I don't have a vision board, then I'm never gonna get rid of that. That is such a like mean girl way to treat ourselves. And so many of us do it. And it's so much more empowering to just be like, wow, it's the first week of the year and I don't know what my goals are for this year, but I trust that they're going to figure themselves out. And there's going to be a day that I feel so aligned to create a vision board. And on that same day, someone I follow is going to be creating a vision board tutorial and everything's going to come together and be so magical. And I just trust that that is going to happen. So I encourage you, whether or not you were able to do that for this time, that is an option for next time, right? You don't have to beat yourself up for not being where you want to be, because you are always exactly where you're meant to be. And I didn't even know that I was going to do this. Like, this intuitively came to me. So maybe you called energetically me to do this. So just keep being exactly where you are unapologetically, because the collective universe is going to come meet you where you're at and support you in getting to where you want to go. This person's trying to make fun of me for only having 9 viewers. I just want to mention that because numbers don't matter. If you are helping one soul improve, that person could potentially create waves of change in the world. Like, it doesn't matter. And this is an old belief, and this is, again, another way that like that mean girl mentality can be projected onto people. And it's up to me whether or not I choose to believe that. There's been so many times in my life where someone's been like, what? Like, no, look, he just said no one's listening to you. You have so much confidence for nothing, like all of this stuff. So these are, of course, mean statements that are being said to me, but it's up to me whether or not I want to believe them. Something is only mean if I inherently believe it. Like if I feel stupid and someone calls me stupid, I'm gonna feel like, oh my God, how did they know? Right? But if I feel like I am so confident and someone calls me stupid, I'll be like, wow, what a weird man just walked up to a completely confident person and called them stupid. What's the point of that, right? So it's really important to like, this kind of speaks into having a morning ritual, having that time that you connect with yourself every single day, that you know who you are, that you know what you are doing, and that it is in full alignment for you. And then no matter who comes in and says, you're so stupid, you're just going to be like, wow, that's so sad that you walk around thinking people are stupid, sending you love, right? It's so much easier to do that. Oh, thanks, Jess. You're so sweet. Oh, thank you all so much for all of the kind words. I'm so happy that this live stream has been able to support you. I hope in more ways than just the vision board, because we covered so many juicy, amazing topics. And if you are not already in the habit of literally writing things down, like write down your vision board outline, whether or not you make a hard copy or a virtual copy using Pinterest and Canva. Oh yeah, by the way, if you don't know how to make a virtual copy, Pinterest, collect all your images, Canva, put them together in the collage. So whatever actual way you just decide to make the vision board, make sure that you write stuff down, like pen, paper, because this actually helps the brain a lot. It helps reprogram the brain to be even more aware, even more present, even more here in the moment, and able to kind of like squeeze the juiciness out of each and every single moment, which is how we get the most out of life. So I strongly encourage you, if you're not in the habit of writing things down, get back in the habit of that. It doesn't matter if you have bad handwriting, you can always just throw the Post-its away or whatever it is. Yes, be confident in who you are so no one can knock you off your pedestal. And we're all on our own beautiful pedestals. So we are all here to support each other and staying on there. And also, yeah, bye to that dude. You're working on it while we're talking. Yes, being in flow. So another thing that is really useful, I absolutely love, like, it's kind of like we're FaceTiming right now and we're all just like hanging out and working on this, which is so fun. So something I do is I make sure to have a very, very high frequency. So being a Reiki master, I like do Reiki on my day every single day. But even if I wasn't doing that, being in connection with another person's frequency just through the phone can actually support you in feeling more motivated and more inspired and aligned in your own life. So even if I didn't try to like call in all of the energy to support you and help you have all the creative lovey juiciness here in this moment, it really is effective to be in connection with another person. Over the past week, I've done so many work dates with my close friends, and it has helped so much. So I know that I'm going to be going live a lot more this week because I know that it just helps, especially with everything going on in the world and we're all feeling maybe a little bit isolated, just to have another person there who's like on the same frequency as you. It can help you both move up your frequency. Thoughts on burning these affirmations once you write them down, or is the point to look back to reference them? What affirmations are you referring to? Are you referring to, because there's 3 steps here. So the first step is what exactly we want. The second step is all of the things that are related to that thing, the colors, shapes, all of that. And then the third step is actually creating the vision board. So what is the affirmations part that you're referring to here? And also for a vision board, you want to save this. I know that we talked about releasing our old vision boards, even though maybe you didn't achieve one thing on that vision board, send it love, send the version of yourself that made that old vision board the most incredible love, because that version of you contributed to you being here today, which is going to contribute to you achieving your goals in the long run. So there's no need to burn or throw these things away. There are a lot of exercises where it is effective to burn things, to get rid of them energetically, to remove them from our energy field. And that's kind of the purpose of burning something, of pushing it out, transmuting, get out of here, right? When it comes to our vision, what we don't want it out. We want it in. We want to hug that shit. We're like, yummy, TikTok famous, car, this, water, freedom, organization. Like, you want to hold that close, right? That's why we're creating a vision board that we're going to look at every single day. But if it's stuff that we don't want, maybe it's like, maybe you were in a toxic relationship and it supported you in creating really like negative views on men or women or whatever person you were in the relationship with. Those are really effective things to burn. Like those beliefs, the belief that men are shitty people, like burn that, because that's not effective in your life, right? Like half the world's population are men. And if you hate them, then that is self-sabotage to yourself. So I think, does that answer your question on like how to decide if you should burn or get rid of something versus keep something? Yes. Transmuting versus internalizing. Yes. Transmutation is one of my favorite concepts of all time. Just really quickly before we hop off, I'll dive into it. So when you are transmuting something, you're releasing it back into the universe where it naturally becomes the state in which it originated. So think about like a caterpillar butterfly on its own, it will naturally turn into a butterfly. If you release your hatred, if you release all of these negative old beliefs into the universe with the intention that it is naturally going to transmute, the way the universe literally picks it up, turns all of that hate back into love, and then you are able to receive the love. I know this is some really high level Reiki stuff, but I hope that that kind of explains what transmuting and what alchemizing means. Another thing that you can do if you're ever feeling super, super triggered, or even if through this process you're having like self-doubt or you're getting stuck in the, how am I going to do this? Alchemize those thoughts. So alchemization means turning something into another thing. And when we have that thought of like, oh my God, how would I even do this? Or why would someone like me think that they could get a new car? Like, I'm a nobody or something like that. All you have to do is alchemize. The first few times you alchemize might take a little bit longer, but you can practice and it can become very, very quick. So when you have that thought, why would I get a new car? I'm such a loser or something. You can alchemize it in a ton of different ways. You can literally jump up and down and take contrary action. You can say, that's not true. Haha, I just said something to myself that was completely fake. Or you can make a joke and say, oh, there's that old self-doubt thought peering into me again, trying to self-sabotage me from my goals. There's so many different ways. You can put on your favorite song and literally dance with that thought and that version of you. Or maybe you do like a little shadow boxing and you're punching that thought in the face. There's so many different ways to alchemize these versions of ourselves. Doesn't mean that they're not valid. They completely are, but they're not going to support us in getting to where we want to go. So the more that we know how to hone in on all of these energetic modalities, the more powerful we are going to be in the long run. Okay. I love you all so much. Please tag me in your vision board so that I can see if you feel comfortable or just in your process. I love to cheer you on and root for you and see how you are doing. Oh, thank you, Jess. Thank you. I hope that we all have the most amazing day. And it is just, the world is not ready for us to achieve all of these things that we are envisioning. I'm so excited. last channeled message, sorry, make sure that you put your vision board in a place that you're gonna see every single day. I like to keep it as my phone background so that I'm constantly reminded of it. Alrighty, bye everyone, love you.